Hello everyone. Today we are back with another video. No duh, if we were not back with another video, you wouldn't be watching anything. Duh. So anyway, we're gonna talk about one of the franchises that is actually, it's one of my favorites, and I want to get a tattoo of it on my thigh. Like, you know, one day I'll be able to get that. But anyway, let us continue on with talking about Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. So first off, let's talk about the gameplay. So the gameplay, it's like any other Zelda game if you've ever played it. You know, you have your sword, you can do your basic attacks, you can do, you know, your little jump back maneuvers or counters and whatever. Wait, you can't do jump backs. I'm thinking of like the really 3D ones. But you have that. And in this game, it's weird with how the gameplay works because, so usually you would just be able to have the items like a boomerang or whatever, but it's really expensive to buy them. So you have to rent them, probably at first, because that's going to be the easiest way to do it, and you don't necessarily always want to outright buy the items because you might only need it for one dungeon. So, you know, it's a lot of money to waste. So when you rent them, when or if you die, all the items get taken back that you have rented, and you have to go either re-rent them or just end up buying them. Just as an interesting side note with that. But you know, it's the basics of any Zelda game, and honestly any RPG. You've got, you know, your potions, got for health and your mana, because you know, stuff takes up some mana. As it's the, you know, you got your basic running around in the overworld. There's plenty of like side quests you can do, and you gotta get through the dungeons. It's all good and fun, runs perfectly smooth. It has a little more kind of cartoony graphics, but I like it, I dig it, I think it's cool, you know, not everything's gotta look all, ooh, Zelda gritty and serious, you know. You can have the cartoony stuff. I love Wind Waker, that's my favorite one, just a side note. Wind Waker, and it is not even for nostalgia reasons, because I didn't play it till I was like 18 or 19. I think I was like 18 when I played it first, so not even for nostalgia reasons. But anyway, let us move on to the story. So, here's the part where I have to admit that I have not played Zelda: A Link to the Past, because it's kind of like an updated one of that. So the story is very similar in that regard, but you have paintings to get to. There is, what is it, like Dark Hyrule? I can't remember what it's called. I'm terrible. But you get to there, you're trying to get to there, and it's kind of like it's basically the opposite of Hyrule. You know, things are dark and gritty over there. Ganon is taken over there and is trying to take over this Hyrule. You know, you have the princess over there that's not Princess Zelda, it's Princess whatever. So of course Ganon's just trying to take over, and you have to stop him, and you have to use your magical I can throw myself to be a painting on the wall skills in order to defeat him. And it's all good fun, and there's an octopus who's missing babies. That's a thing. And then you got Mr. Mysterious Rabbit Person, who, you know, you gotta rent all your items from because he's greedy. And won't just give you the items. You're supposed to save the world, but he ain't gonna let you do it for free. No. He wants all your money. So he's greedy and selfish to the world because he's not letting you save the world. End of story. Anyway, let's go on to my thoughts and opinions now. So honestly, I'm gonna admit I am not the best at Zelda games, especially when it comes to like the water temples or even just the temples in general. I will look up a guide, or at least when I was playing them, you know, high school years and middle school and whatnot, I would always have to look up a guide to know what I was doing because I was not very good at them. A Link Between Worlds was the first game I never had to look up a guide for. I also was like 19, 20 when I played it, so, you know, hopefully it was just partly to the fact that I finally got a little good at video games. But I do feel also, even if my stupid self can do it without any guide, I feel like it's probably been a decently good Zelda game for like kids to start on or whatever. because that means it's not that complicated, and it still presents enough of a challenge. Like, I wasn't just breezing through everything like it was the easiest game ever. It definitely presented, you know, a little bit of challenge. You had to think, but it wasn't anything that was extremely hard or complicated to figure out, which is something I like, because like, while I like a good challenge, it's part of the reason why I don't play Dark Souls, is I'm not the best at video games. So while I enjoy a bit of a challenge, I generally like to play for, you know, the story and to be able to relax a little, which how are you supposed to relax if the game is extremely frustrating and impossible to beat? I'm just saying. The graphics, like I said earlier, you know, I like the graphics. They're a little cartoony-ish. I mean, it's on the 3DS, so you can't expect anything super realistic anyway. I know some people don't like that, but I honestly, and even without having ever played A Link to the Past, I still really enjoyed the game and had, you know, a great appreciation for it. Like, it's honestly a very solid Zelda game, and as a big Zelda fan, you know, you gotta be playing. You want all the Zelda games you can get, and this is a good entry. Like, and the thing is it is a bit of a reboot and kind of a remaster of A Link to the Past, but it did a cool thing where it still made it its own game. So it's worth it to play both, honestly, because there's enough differences. Like, it basically took A Link to the Past and made a new game out of it in a lot of ways, which I honestly think is really cool, because that, you know, I do know the basics of The Link to the Past. So there are a lot of those differences. Honestly, I think it's a really good game. You should check it out. I mean, if you still somehow haven't played it, definitely check it out. Like I said, it can even be good for if, you know, if you are like me and maybe not the best at video games, you need something not so challenging that it's impossible to beat and you feel like you're never gonna beat it, and you know, you don't necessarily always want to be looking up a guide, this would be one to check out. So I'm gonna give this game an 8 out of 10. Great solid game. I never used the 3D in it because I have a 3DS, but I don't use the 3D because it's, one, usually not for very many stuff, and it kind of hurts my eyes, probably mostly because I have to wear glasses anyway, so I can't say anything on the 3D features. But anyway, if you want to see pictures of my dog and just my life, because you care, I guess, go ahead and follow my Instagram down below. If you want to keep up to date on what is just going on in my life and with videos, go ahead and follow my Twitter down below. Go ahead and in the comments leave your favorite Zelda game, and then maybe even just top RPG franchises. That might be fun. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. You don't have to, but it helps me to know what you guys are enjoying watching. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I upload every Monday and Friday, and I vlog whenever I feel like it. And that is going to be it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye!